thank you, and we're pleased to have you join us for a day filled with informative dialogue. We hope that you walk away better informed and equipped with the tools and resources you need to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion practices where you work.
It's an honor to step into this role and represent California's public school educators. Over half of the leaders at CalSTRS are women, and 1/3 of the leaders in our investments are women, with 50% of our investment directors being women.
Going forward, having investors provide insight when they comment on our roles on why they use the data, how they use the data, and showing us examples.
Good intent doesn't suffice, and that you really do have to come up with more specific strategies and initiatives to try to achieve a result. And even if you, in comparison perhaps to some others, you might be looking okay in terms of the overall universe of what we're trying to accomplish. I don't think there's any organization, be it a public one or a private one, that's where it needs to be.
So our view is that when we use our listing standards to drive the change that we want to see, we're defining the investable universe, because our listing standards define whether or not you can be a public company. And if we put into our listing standards criteria that are really well-intended criteria, the issue is the investors no longer have that choice. We're taking that choice away from them when we're defining what they have access to. So it's critical for investors to demand the change that they want to see, and they are doing it.
What we've focused on is the difference between representation of women in national workforces and where women are represented in the industry. And really what that shows us is in almost every area, in almost every country, they're a long way short of what they should be.
When I think of society and the problems we've had with, people have cared about diversity, and it has been a systemic problem. To me, it gets back to unintended bias. People don't realize the biases they have about people who look differently than them. And the only answer to that is education. So that people understand, giving them object lessons of other experiences so that they can realize, wow, I've got biases I wasn't aware of that impact my decisions and make my as usual.
Yeah, I think I've heard that in more than one place. This business as usual was not sustainable, either from a social perspective and it's very interesting when we were talking, when Kirsty Jenkinson from STACEY was speaking with Commissioner Heron Lee, the recommendations from investors on human capital reporting, they predate the pandemic. And now no one's in any doubt that actually how much this matters. So taking care of this precious asset of human capital is extremely important.
At CalSTRS, we don't just talk the talk, but we believe we walk the walk. We value diversity and believe it's imperative that our internal investment team, as well as our investment partners and the boards of the companies in which we invest, reflect the rich diversity of the members we serve and, of course, of our country.
It's not just what are we doing with our own employees or the things that we control, but what about business diversity? Not just supplier diversity, but business diversity. And John Rogers of Ariel really talked a lot about that business diversity. Who are the lawyers that we're hiring? What about the consulting firms? How do we think about the accountants? All the different areas that say it's not just about the catering, but how can we play a role in unlocking real job opportunities, higher income opportunities for females and underrepresented minorities?